What a lovely story. Yasmin Meeks from the Roosters talking there with Emma Lawrence. And good to be here for game 2 of the triple header. The Roosters up against the Titans. Ruan Sims, she's versatile too, Yasmin, because she was supposed to play in the back row, but she's gone to the wing for the Roosters this afternoon.
She absolutely is, and I love the way she plays. She's got a lot of physicality, so that's why they push her into that second row, but she can play anywhere in the outside backs. Comes again from a Rugby Union Sevens background as well, so has great skill with ball in hand. And
Alana Ferguson thought the Titans finished off pretty well last week in that first up loss against St George Illawarra. They were down 14-0. They got it back to 14-12, and it just got away from them at the end. But they look like the longer they went in that game, the better they came together.
Yeah, too right. The Titans, that was the first time they were able to run out on the field last week, so they'll be better off for the run and the review session. But that second half performance was a far better quality 35 minutes than the first. So they'll take that, they'll build on last week's performance, and they'll stick it to the Roosters, absolutely, no doubt about it.
So there's Yasmin. We heard from her and her partner Adam Clydesdale, who's well-credentialed first grader throughout his career as well. Both teams looking for their maiden wins here in the NRLW season. Some really exciting attacking players in this Titans team. It's a contrast, I'd suggest, because Hannah Southwell, the 13 for the Roosters, a great defensive lock forward.
Yeah, both of the locks in their respective sides are really exciting players. Hannah Southwell, rock solid in defence, but has a really nice ball-playing ability too, particularly just nice and short off the hip. And then alongside that, Destiny Brill for the Titans in that locking position. We've seen her play hooker as well as lock, so she just adds another layer to the Titans' attack as well.
I reckon this is maybe the pick of the games so far this afternoon. Two teams desperate, and two teams that just showed that they could be on the up and up after last week. So here's Predabon, who was terrific for the Roosters in her maiden NRLW appearance. An inside pass there from Kelleher, who's gone from halfback to 5'8" this afternoon, and Sarah Togatuki's moved out to the left back row after playing in the front row last week. Predabon again. Oh, solid tackle that. Good body contact. Shannon Marto and the other front rower, Steph Hancock, one of the champions of Australian Women's Rugby League, involved there. Nice kick to end the set. And into the corner, and Polite, who we know is just an absolute gun, the former Rugby 7 star, and played in the centres for the Warriors, but has moved to the fullback role here with the Titans, and what a danger she is. She ran last week for almost 180 metres. That was double the next best in the Titans team. The fullbacks, they're the X-factors in the women's and the men's game these days. Brayley Nutty, and the pass away to Gray. Play there by Marto in the end, and Gray with a run, who punches up over the halfway. Look at that strong run.
Well, this is exactly what you want from your senior players. Take that ball in hand, drive down the field. As we've seen Nati come up with a nice little kick, turning around the winger, and she just lets that one trickle into touch. A big in for me, Tomo, is Maya Hilmoana for the Roosters. I think they missed her strike through that middle. They missed her power and the way she runs the football. So having her back in, she only missed last week due to a little injury she picked up at All-Stars. So the fact that she's back in will really starch up that middle third in attack. And we saw both her and Predabon in the front row take 3 of those 5 runs in the first set of 6.
As you can see from that wide shot there, the rain has stopped. Finally.
Still plenty of wind out there though, Tomo.
Yeah.
We saw that impact the first game, particularly under the high balls. It's going to put the outside backs and the fullbacks under a lot of pressure if they can get some height on some of those kicks.
It's always windy down here, Alana. Windy Wollongong.
Windy win.
Windy win.
That's what you pay for the view, mate.
It's a cracker. Oh, that ball just spilled it backwards. We got a late call there. The referee firstly let play go on, but it's been called back here. Good aggressive defence from the outside backs there, and Isabel Kelly, not an easy player to tackle like that.
Well, this is one facet of the Titans game that I really thought stood out to me last week. Defensively, I know their coach Jamie Feeney has a real defensive mindset, and you can see that in the structure and the way they run about their business out there. And they'd have to come up with those kinds of plays on Isabel Kelly, because if you give her a sniff of any space, she will make you pay.
So Brayley Narty away to her wife, Kimmy, on the left-hand side of the scrum there. And Gray playing it now. Brittany Brayley Narty. Interesting little side note too about her. She had a season away, and just wondering how she's going in the duel with Lauren Brown to reclaim the Queensland and Australian number 9 jumper. Across the field they go, and good defence there by Kelly, who read that nicely. That's Jasmine Peters, the number 3, on debut for the Titans today. She's from Mackay. She's highly regarded. A pass there from Hancock back to Brayley Narty. Now Brill. This is the player Alana highlighted. Destiny Brill tries to find a passage through. Really enterprising stuff with the ball here from the Titans. A tap on from Polite, and Peters has scored, has she? Yes! With a second touch in NRLW. Great attack by the Titans. How good's that to watch?
It was absolutely superb. They pushed to that right edge, and then it was Jasmine Peters on debut that comes up with the 4-pointer. We see here on the Harvey Norman replay, they definitely had that numbers out to that edge, but she puts on that nice sharp footwork, comes back against the grain, and I thought Meeks just did enough to hold her up, but she dove to the ground, used all of the stretch possible in that jersey, gets that ball down for a 4-pointer.
Sensational work from the Titans. In the lead up to that try, the work that Brittany Brayley Narty has been doing just to put the defensive line and the markers in a little bit of a confused state was brilliant. And then the tip on then couldn't have been any better. We get to see another look at it here. Absolutely perfect. They look very dangerous, and they did a very good job at getting that field position as well.
She comes to NRLW with a big rap, Jasmine Peters. 19 from Mackay, but dominated in the QRLW for the Gold Stars. Just demanded inclusion here, the club says, and well, there's a way to justify the raps. Only a couple of touches, and the second one she'll remember. A try at NRLW level. Now Zara Canfield kicking not easy here. It's a damp ground, although credit to the ground staff here with all the rain we've had. It hasn't chopped up at all, but the wind, always a difficult proposition down here at Wynn Stadium. Great stuff. The Titans, they look full of confidence. Canfield from out wide. Oh, this will go close. She's nailed it at 6-0. Well, the Titans have picked up where they left off in the second half last week. They, after trailing early in the game, really turned on some sizzling attack to challenge at the end of that game. Here comes the Parramatta team. There's last week's hero, Maddie Studden, making her way to Wynn Stadium. They'll play the locals next up. Here's Brittany Brayley Narty. And Polite playing it. Here's Karina Brown. Playing a 12th NRLW game. There's three of the Titans with that number. And here's another one of them, Steph Hancock. They're the veterans. They've played right across the competition since its inception. Mato at the back. Here's Kimmy Brayley Narty, New Zealand Fern representative at the 2017 World Cup. And the kick now by Griffin hangs up in the breeze, but taken well by Bridie Parker. And back she comes to the 40.
Well, that was a really good defensive set there by the Roosters, forcing the Titans to kick from inside their own 50, which then gifts them the ball back on their own 40-metre line. So on tackle 2, they're already 50 metres out from their own try line.
And a penalty here. It's an interesting scenario facing the Roosters today. You wouldn't think a team with Surgis and Kelly in the centres would struggle for points, but scoring last week, well, they only scored the once, of course, but they looked like they were really struggling for an attacking spark, and already they're chasing points here, down 6-0.
Yeah, we did discuss this during the week on our NRLW wrap show, and both Virgo and I agree that they sort of had some issues with their halves and they started to panic a little bit. So we want to see a little bit more composure from them throughout this next sort of 60-odd minutes.
So Kelly up into second receiver there, wraps around the back, and a nice pass here. Here's Meeks. It looks like she's slotted into the centres on that occasion. That was a good run, but a good read in defence there. And Predabon. She's hard to stop. They head right. The Southwell and McGregor throws a short ball. It was probably a bit hard for Koenig, really, and they've spilt it there.
Execution there was off, but the way that the structure of their attack was set up looked much better than last week already from the Roosters. Hannah Southwell being in there, being that link to find the edges where they did have the space, but just have to soften up that pass. It's a really easy aspect of the game to fix up from here. They looked far more dangerous, the Roosters.
And unfortunately, they've compounded that by giving away a penalty off the back. So unfortunately, they do have a bit of a triangle, error penalty points, penalty error points. So hopefully for the Roosters fans, it doesn't go that way for them. But I would have liked to have seen that ball sort of go over the top of Olivia Koenig and find the outside centre.
Oh, the tap, the pass after the tap was a shocker.
Obstruction.
And then they're appealing. That was a right mess, that. Shouldn't be missing your target from the tap restart. Here goes Brill. Solid defence. She's impressive, Taylor Predabon. She's a really strong ball runner, but a great defender, but Brayley Nardi up the middle. And Brittany splits them with a great run. Bridie Parker from fullback wraps her up. 16 metres the Rooster side of halfway. They've got so much attacking in this Titans team. Here's Polite. Tackled well by Kelleher. Way through at Canfield. And Brill now back against the grain. They get to play number 5. They go short side. And Griffin along the ground. It's rolling. Brown's going to score. Karina Brown with a great chase. The kick looked like it was destined to roll down. But Karina Brown wasn't giving up on it and did it pretty comfortably in the end. They're out to a 10-0 lead.
Well, it was all off the back of that line break from Brittany Brayley-Nardi, but Tomo, I don't mind that kick selection. Having the ball a little bit flatter so that it strolls, particularly in these wet conditions, it's able to skid. We see here on the Harvey Norman replay and just roll and pull up a little bit. Perfect for Karina Brown to get there in time to just slide over. It's a really tricky kick to defend against, but an easy one to dive over and score the points, which we can see Karina Brown do brilliantly there.
Well, I just think they're looking at that replay. I thought Bridie might have thought it had too much weight on it, was going to kick over the dead ball line, but just Karina Brown did not give up. It pulled right up. He called that perfectly. And Goose was right there on the spot. Here, we're going to watch this again. So you see Bridie's in a good position at the back. She's inside the ball. She knows where the kick's going. And then she just kind of eases up and it takes a bit of a right turn and Goose just keeps going for it. The Titans have come out firing today.
If you're wondering who Goose is, it is Karina Brown.
Sorry about that. That is Karina Brown. And it is her first NRLW try, I am told.
Wouldn't be happy with that nickname, Brew.
Oh,
People walking around calling it Goose.
She's had that nickname for years. She loves it. It's better, yeah. Poor Rachel Pearson's called the Rat.
It's not a great one either. Yes, Bridie Parker. She'll just regret that hesitation. You've got to chase the ball hard. Now a kick from the sideline. Another good strike, but this one's across the face. The Titans sitting pretty at 10-0. Titans. They've flown out of the blocks, the Gold Coast. Here come the locals, the St George Illawarra Dragons. That'll be game 3 in our triple header. Oh, how about that for a shot? Yasmin Meeks, or Mrs. Meeks as they call her at school.
That was big contact. Big contact from Yazzie Meeks.
You don't want to back chatter in the classroom. Whack. Here's Hancock now. Nice offload.
Push, buddy!
And Destiny Brill. Well, you pinpointed her, Alana. She's a live wire, isn't she?
She is. She loves being in the thick of the action. Whenever Brayley Nardi goes missing from that hooker position, she's right there fit to fill in. But I think her involvement will only increase as time goes on.
Here's Griffin. Polite tries to kick one through. It's a bobble. This is a knock on against the Roosters. The pressure building. They've had very little ball. The Titans on a roll and they'll get another set.
Well, considering the Titans are running into the wind as well, they are playing with a wet sail. Everything they're doing is coming up trumps. They're putting in early kicks, they're jumping down short sides, they're reading the play really, really well. Politi comes up with a nice kick, bit of a ricochet off the centre there, and Yaz Meeks couldn't quite handle it on the ground. But this is an excellent attacking opportunity. Midfield scrum, 30 metres out. Anything can happen with the amount of talent that they've got running out on these edges.
So Griffin feeding it. Kimmy Brayley Nati. Pass on the inside and ball played here by Tasman Gray. Oh no, Marto's knocked one on with no one really around her at all. So there's a let off for the Roosters.
That's their first error for the game, the Titans, and that was something that their coach, Jamie Feeney, spoke about at full time of last week, not letting themselves get into the contest, just giving the ball away. So they'll have to keep their eye on those errors, but that's why they've been so successful up until this point, just being able to build that pressure and play the right territory.
There's Southwell, no-nonsense run. Good player. One of the 4 Jillaroos in this Roosters lineup this afternoon. Now, number 23, Maya Moana, who Ruan's already put a highlighter around. Only 18 years of age, but one of the real emerging front rowers in the game. Surgis, who used to call this ground home, playing it just short of the halfway. Kicked by McGregor. Oh, got away from Karina Brown. Look out, Goose. There's some chasers coming, and 3 of them. They tackled her 15 metres out from her own line.
Well, again, the Titans showed some excellent work defensively. Politi pushes off and just continues to make space every time she touches the ball. She's dangerous.
And Lauren Dam, who played in the centres last week on debut, out onto the wing this afternoon. They look confident, the Gold Coast. Playing with real speed.
Go, Tim Meyer.
Now Brill. The 15, Keely Joseph out there for the Roosters. Thought she tried really hard off the bench last week. Good defender. And Griffin to the air. You can see the Winds playing a few tricks with the ball out there. Taken by Parker. And the kick chase probably not that good, actually.
No, unfortunately, you called it there. The middle forwards just looked a little fractured, and that's where Bridie Parker was able to find her front really quickly. And again, backed up by a really great run here by Tafunga, the winger.
Here's Kelly. Really roughed up with a big shot there. Oh, she's come out feeling it. Oh, this isn't a good sign for Isabel Kelly. Meanwhile, pulling through tackles there. That's Yasmin Meeks, who has been probably the best player for the Roosters so far. There's Kelly, who's copped a whack down a left-hand side there. Well, this could be a big blow for the Roosters. The trainer with her as Koenig has tackled. And McGregor stabs a kick through to roll down towards the goal line. Polite has got it, but she might be bundled out here, yeah.
Well, when she picked that ball up, it looked like she used a little bit of footwork, and she thought she might have been able to sort of jump out and get those defenders on her outside shoulder. But we're watching here this injury to Isabel Kelly.
They've been taking a lot of time off the two centres. Isabel Kelly and Jess Surgis, as you said, Roo, have been starting their sets and really trying to get the Roosters on the front foot. But the Titans, at the moment, have been able to contain them so well. We see Isabel Kelly running back out there to the left centre. She looks like she's good to go. Very important player for the Roosters, particularly this close to the line.
On the 10-metre line, Surgis now has lost it. Great pressure. That was a great tackle by Jasmine Peters, who rushed up off the scrum.
That's the defensive pressure that I was just speaking about, just taking all the time off Jess Surgis and Isabel Kelly.
The NRLW Grand Final is heading to Redcliffe to be decided at Moreton Daily Stadium on Sunday, April 10. Be there to witness the very best that Women's Rugby League has to offer as the two best teams battle it out for the trophy. Don't miss your chance to be part of the historic occasion. Get your seats at NRL.com/tickets. So Griffin to Elite, that was a flat ball, and experience there by Karina Brown to come back in field. Brittany Rayleigh-Nahi waiting for it. Dummy half. Goes away to Griffin. Oh, it's a wonky kick. That's a bad one. She had more time than that. Just rushed it. And off the side of the boot, it's out on the full.
Well, one thing that's really impressed and stood out to me is the Titans' ability to defend errors. When they come up with an error, they're able to put on a really good defensive set afterwards to either force an error or just minimise the amount of metres that the Roosters have been able to take off them. It's not something that you'd want to be doing all the time, but it's a good thing, a good little tool to have in your tool belt because they're going to need it now.
Kelly Joseph. Canfield, the tackler up top there. Now Burton is on the park in 14, doing the dummy half work. Here's a good ball to Funga down the wing. Great tackle from behind. Rastron Smith. The Roosters trying to find something here. This is Shania Power. So plenty of reserves out there, trying to add some energy. And there's an opening, and there's a try. Tafunga, who started that with that run down the wing, has finished it with a try in the corner. They're on the board.
Really good vision from the Roosters to be able to identify that short side threat. They did well. We see here on the Harvey Norman replay, they went out to the wing and a brilliant run to make some metres back towards the post, but the defensive setup from the Titans just couldn't move over quick enough. Got on the outside of Lauren Dam and then straight through the hands. Pretty simple once the football got out there, but just played very direct football and very smart decisions, which we didn't see in round one from the Roosters attacking their line. So a huge improvement.
Well, the lead up to that break by Tafunga is what impressed me. Seeing the halves actually combining, Racine McGregor to Kelleher, who then goes for that lovely cutout pass to Tafunga, who makes the break, followed up by a really strong run by, I think it was Simone Karpani. Big, strong run, made the short edge defenders have to come in and fill the space because she bent that line and drew those defenders into her. Then it was just a simple case playing what was in front of them. Heads up, hands, hands, draw pass, draw pass. Like Alana said, simple footy, but when done well, is executed perfectly, that's what you come up with.
A confidence booster as well. They tell me Leanne Tafunga once scored 5 tries in a match playing for the Sharks in the Women's Premiership last season.
She sure did. Can find the try line.
5 in a game, eh? It's an elite group of footballers that score 5 tries in a game. Doesn't happen very often. In fact, it's only happened a handful of times, I'd reckon. From the touchline. Oh, Southwell, what a kick! Well, you'd be happy to hit a golf ball as well as that. Hannah Southwell from the touchline. A little fade over the black dot. What a brilliant conversion. Oh, no, they've touched the sideline from the restart.
Oh, that is a shame because they got points off the back of it. Hannah Southwell struck this beautifully.
Look at it. Fade back.
Look at that, and then look at how happy she is about it. Oh, no.
Right.
Oh, well. It was good vision, trust me.
Oh, hang on.
I can only imagine that the reason they've called that out is because there's a player who's standing out and then touching the player who has the ball.
Right.
That can be the only reason why I would say they'd call that out.
April Ngata Puna is the 19, and here's Destiny Brill, who's been part of everything. Well, this would be a huge blow for the Roosters if they score a try and then concede one straight on the back of it from an unforced error. And Polite, sorry, that's Rafstron Smith who came charging onto it. And a short side raid here, and it is a try. It's Tasman Gray. Oh, you can't stop her from a couple of metres out. No way. And they've leaked a try straight back. The Titans punishing the Roosters' error.
Oh, that is a shame. And earlier we saw that Rafstron Smith almost pushed over. We see here on the Harvey Norman replay, again, Kimi Oronati just showing the ball, dropping a runner underneath her. It was Tasman Gray, she actually dropped under her. And then Gray reloads, gets herself into the right position to be able to charge over and score a 4-pointer. That's really good work by the veteran there. The knowledge, the game knowledge to run that down line and then set herself up ready to go for the next play. That's really good stuff.
Yeah, you just see how tight Jess Surgis is on that defensive line as well. Almost showed her the space and good vision to go over there by Tasman Gray.
You can see there she's played at 4 NRL clubs in 4 seasons of the Women's Premiership. A much sought after signature. And Tasman Gray, pretty happy about that one.
She's got a premiership to show for it too.
Yep. In fact, she said the main reason she signed with the Titans this year is because she wanted to replicate her brother, Jordan Rapana, who'd also been a Gold Coast Titan. It's the first brother-sister combination to play at the Titans club. And here's an attempt from the sideline, another one. It's a goal-kicking exhibition. So Southwell to restart here for the Roosters. 16-6 Titans. We said at the start, they are a real attacking force. Some great attacking players around the park. That's a pretty ordinary effort at the restart there, but Karina Brown saves the day. She gets monstered by 3 or 4 of the Roosters chasers there, however.
We've seen a couple of times that bouncing ball has caused a few little issues for the Titans. They want to make sure that they get on top of that they don't have to keep pulling it out of the bag that way, because the Roosters now, as we see, an error.
Oh, yeah, that's a big call.
That is a big call.
That's a
I think they got
4th tackle penalty. Georgia Hale, maybe a bit of guile there to get the right call, but that's a big one, isn't it? Because inside the 40, as we know, no 6 again, it's a penalty, and that will hand the Titans very handy field position here. Oh. I mean, she's got the ball on the ground.
Yes, and she didn't have a hand on it either.
Yeah. So Hale started at lock last week.
17 high tackle, play on.
Quick tap from a high tackle call. Georgia Hale's causing havoc. She's been out there about 15 seconds. Back to Destiny Brill now. And the Titans are right down the Roosters' end once again here.
Georgia Hale, a huge name to have coming off the bench. She's such an incredible football player, but to be able to have someone of that calibre to come off the
Here's
bench.
Gray again with a barnstorming run. Surgis, part of the tackle to stop her. I don't know if they can stop them for much longer here. The Titans have got their tails up. Polite pulled down that time. Away to Hale, flat pass. This is Elliston, the former Bronco who's won a couple of NRLW titles. And Brill will go from dummy half, and I think they've just held her up. Yes, they have. Oh, that's courageous and desperate by the Roosters.
No try. Can you confirm that she's held up over the line?
Well, the referee just asking to make sure the ball hasn't touched the line. Again, a great run by Destiny Brill, but the lead up to this attempt to get over the line was great. Kimiora Brayley Nardi's sleight of hand. No, she's up.
At this point, the ball is still up and Destiny Brill fails to get it to the ground. We have a decision.
There we go, we'll take it out 10 and play it. But Brayley Nardi's had some really great touches, drawing Tasman Gray into the game.
So it was the last tackle. It'll be a Roosters ball. Oh, look at that. Oh, it's a one-on-one steal. Are you serious?
She just does not stop. Incredible. Destiny Brill.
Remarkable effort. Here's Canfield. Muscled back. A couple short from the line. Destiny Brill, I don't think I've ever seen that before. First tackle steal one-on-one, and she was standing at marker and just said, give me the ball. Elliston tackled under the posts. Brill, Brayley Narty, Gray again, look at it go. It takes 4 Roosters to pull her up just short of the line. Here's Hale. Oh, don't think you want the big interchange front row with it on tackle number 5. They've just got that one wrong.
Wait. No contact.
Gee, they're playing with confidence, the Titans.
Aren't they just? And it's off the back of these little 1% efforts, like what Destiny Brill's coming up with, never giving up, always pushing for every opportunity. Brayley Narty and Tasman Gray.
Look at this route. Look at this route.
Big defence.
Canfield and Elliston on Surgis. Oh, another big shot. Here's Hale. A quirky stat David Middleton told me before this game, Georgia Hale had made the most tackles of anyone in the NRLW. It's a handy play to have coming on at this stage when you've got a 10-point lead.
She's a workhorse. Yeah, watch her work off the ball as well, just running those decoy lines in and around the ruck. She doesn't stop.
Oh, here's a good charge. That's Keely Joseph. She's impressed. Burton and Zahara Tamara. Relegated to the bench after starting at 5'8" last week. McGregor sends it up in the air. Polite with the catch. And that's a pretty good set by the Roosters. They'll be relieved to see the other end of the ground.
Well, a good set, especially when you consider the defensive pressures that the Titans had put them under. Well, we see Zahara Tamara coming onto the field playing in that ball-playing lock role. We've seen a little bit of a trend of that happening over the last few games.
Here's Lauren Dam. Gatapuna. Couple out from the halfway line. And Brill went to Griffin, who turned the ball back under. And play there by Shania Power. Here's a kick, it'll hit the deck. Always dangerous, but it bounced kindly for Bridie Parker, who sees a bit of territory. And a bit of daylight too. Parker into the clear. Kelly there in support. She's run away from it. It's been knocked down by a Titan. This will be an offside penalty.
Offside.
Look, Tomo, I'm giggling,
Sorry.
but that was such a great piece of work there by Bridie Parker, and I'm giggling because she was looking for help. She got to the end of it. She'd done such good work. She broke through the middle of the field. She was pushing her way down there. She pushed through defenders. She heard Izzy calling for the ball, was looking for it, couldn't quite get it away, but the penalty there by the Titans. Now the Roosters, excellent field position.
So Zahara Tamara for McGregor. Tokatuki had a look out the back. Takes the tackle in the end. And Joseph up to the 10-metre line. Tackle number 3. They play left and Kelleher with a lovely pass to Meeks, but a great tackle by Karina Brown. She does a good job. Tamara, who looks like she's playing at lock this afternoon. Oh, not a great pass at all out of dummy half.
Well, that's just cost them, the Roosters.
And Kelly's going to be stopped here with it.
Close tackle. Yeah, not going to hit over.
And it's a costly error.
No.
Did well, they were set up down there and just a misdirected pass from acting half. So 3 minutes 20 out from half-time here, 35-minute halves in NRLW. And the Titans have played up-tempo, entertaining footy.
They certainly have, and they've backed it up with some really great defensive structures as well.
So Corinne Brown. And goes to Jess Elliston. Tackle made by Tokatuki. Oh, big shot. That's Brill once again. Hale into dummy half. Power out wide. Karina Brown with it now. Got it back to Shania Power. And Yasmin Meeks helping with the defence there. Griffin sends it up in the air. And not played out there by a Rooster, so it'll be a tricolour ball with a couple of minutes until half-time.
Well, one of the try scorers there, Jasmine Peters, really put a bit of pressure on the Roosters' outside backs to come up with a play. But she managed to come up with the ball, but they've just tackled her with it and couldn't get it away to try and continue this amazing run that the Titans have had. But the Roosters do have a fair bit of work ahead of them, Tomo.
Absolutely. And Surgis is one of the players who's capable of sparking the revival. Just don't know the Roosters have got her enough ball in space, Roost. Even last week, she was doing a lot of the donkey work, wasn't she? Trying to come out of trouble in the middle.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I think they need to find a way to bring Surgis and Kelly into the game a little bit more and utilise those skills and the power that they have, not just getting them out of trouble, but when they're in good ball.
Simone Kapani tackled strongly there. Samara away to Joseph. Three-person tackle. Solid defence. Power, the main tackler there. Oh, Burton's pass missed the target once again. Isabel Kelly with it this time. And here's a chance, Surgis. We said she needed to get to open space, and she's tackled at the back magnificently by Polite. Oh, how good was that?
She is a weapon. Both of them. Politi with the incredible tackle. But we were just talking about how we needed to see Isabel Kelly and Jess Surgis brought into the game more. And they must have heard us because they thought, we're just going to do it ourselves. They linked up, came up with a great break, but that tackle was up to the task.
That's as good a covering tackle from a fullback as you'll see. This has been fun. This has been really entertaining. The Roosters, beaten grand finalists, up against the newcomers. We're seeing a real slog. Here's Elliston. Griffin. Off the hands of Meeks, and that'll see us out for the first half. It's a handy lead by a team that has impressed in their second ever outing in NRLW. Gold Coast Titans 16 over the Roosters 6 here at Wynn Stadium in Wollongong. Let's go to Emma.
Thank you, Matt. I've got the veteran Steph Hancock with me, leading at halftime. What's been most pleasing?
Well, it's just good to get some points on the board, to be honest. I think last week we probably tried too hard. But it's just good to be back out there, and our first half obviously was a lot better than last week, so you've got to be happy with that.
It's great to see you back because you had retired, but are you just loving being back on the footy field?
I am actually. It's my last game in my 30s, so I've got to enjoy it today, but I'm just proud of the girls. I got my little buddy April starting. She just come off the bench, and I think she just found out, obviously, what NRLW is all about, so very happy.
Well, it's great to see you back. Good luck in the second half, Steph.
Thank you.
Good to have you with us. Nine's coverage of NRLW, Wynn Stadium, Wollongong, the venue, and how impressive that this Titans outfit been in the first half. A 10-point advantage, 16-6 over the Roosters, the twice-beaten grand finalists, and they've got a bit of work to do, the Tricolours, if they're to get themselves back into this. They've certainly got the talent to do it, but the Titans look slick, they look sharp with the ball, and I suppose Rwanda comes on the back of having the bulk of possession, but their defence has been aggressive and energetic.
It certainly has. They've turned up right from the get-go. Last week we saw the Dragons sort of get over the top of them in that first 40, 50-odd minutes. But this game, they've started the way they finished last week. They've started with a wet sail. They're running, they're supporting really well, and they're pushing for every single opportunity. And they're forcing a lot of that through the defensive work that they've been coming up with. Really strong in contact, and it's been a pleasure to watch them play.
Yeah, the possession count 60-40 in favour of the Titans. There's a Hara Tamara restart play. Low kick-off, couple of bounces, picked up by Grace Griffin. And back comes Jess Elliston to start the second half. They're running with the wind too. So a 10-point lead and wind at their back. The Titans looking for their first ever NRLW win. Gee, that would be a big blow for the Roosters if they were 9-2 after a couple of rounds. A big half of football coming up here, and following this, it'll be St George Illawarra against Parramatta. Good run. How good has Tasman Gray been? My goodness.
Oh, Tomo, you took the words out of my mouth. The pairing of her and Kimmy Nati on this left edge have been causing all sorts of havoc for the Roosters.
She looks fit too, doesn't she, Tassie?
She looks strong. So Brill into dummy half now. And what about this pass? Oh! Polite, she is a freak coming in from fullback. What a footballer.
That's where you see some of those 7 skills coming in to the game, being able to pass that ball on the run. Look at the pace at which Polite's running, and to deliver that pass. Yeah. Unlucky it didn't stick, but that's some pretty good skills.
You know what, you're probably going to catch that.
Oh, not only does she deliver the pass, she takes a big knock immediately as she throws the ball. So she's under a huge amount of pressure, still comes up with that shot. And I agree, that needed to be taken because, oh, that would have been an absolute grandstand finish.
You know what, you see the best fullbacks in rugby league run onto the ball at pace like that and deliver those passes, but that's just a touch of class. They've got it again. Is this Destiny Brill?
It's Brill again.
Secure your valuables, she'll steal everything. Here goes the Gata Puna, a couple of metres out from the line. Brill, oh, the great defence, they're up quick. But Elliston goes back to mop up. Well, if they score here, it's a long way back for the Roosters. Here's Brill. Oh, it's not a great ball. That went forward, didn't it? Well, the referee lets it go, says it floated forward. So, given the wind out here, maybe that was the right call. Polite, Kimmy Nati, and Brill. Oh, no. They wanted to keep it going there, but the defence was up too quickly. Probably should have held on to it. The Roosters survive.
Yeah, unfortunately for the Titans there, they just started moving a little too laterally. Then there was no one coming from any great depth and really forcing the Roosters to come up with some defensive decisions. And unfortunately, the error sees the Roosters back on the push, trying to make their way out of their own half, but the Titans are having none of it.
So That wind's whipped up. You can see everything's got a real gust about it out there. And,
Plenty of wind.
Yeah.
I was just talking to Maddie Studden.
They've turned over again, sorry.
Just chatting to Maddie Studden ahead of the next game, but off camera about the wind and how much pressure you can put both the wingers and the fullback under with a couple of high kicks, because you're right, it's swirling out there. So if you can get that footy some hang time.
Hale for Elliston. They just look so well drilled, this Titans outfit. It's only the second time they've played together. And Hale again. She's a Kiwi Fern star, and she's 12 metres short. Destiny Brill for Kimmy Narty. And up from the back, Polite, she's nailed that. She's dropped it again. How did Dam drop that one? She had to fall over the line.
Well, unfortunately, this one is going to be in the nightmares for a while, because Polite has absolutely nailed that cutout pass. If we thought she should have caught the first one, that was an absolute sitter on the chest.
Oh, dear.
No, but she had it, Fergo. She had it, and then she just went to change her grip. She went to change her grip and knocked it on. Oh, poor Laura Dam.
That's shattering.
Emma, you got a special guest joining us.
I certainly do. I've got Raiders great Jason Croker with me. Jason, thanks for joining us. What have you made of the footy so far here in Wollongong?
It's been a good day, and Brisbane made a good win, so I was Jason Croker, now I'm Buddy Millie's uncle, so which is not a bad thing, and she's going well.
That's your most important title. Now, 2 tries, 2 weeks in a row for Millie. How impressed have you been?
Yeah, no, she's a good girl. She's worked hard up to where she's got to, and she's doing well. And so we're all super proud of her.
She's very tough. She got split on the chin last week. Do you think she's tougher than you?
Yeah, she's got knee coverage. I think last year she had a pretty busted up, broken nose. So poor thing, she's been in the wars, but no, she's got through it.
Well, it's great to see her play, and it's great to see you here as well. Jason, thanks for your time.
Thanks so much.
Back to you, Matt.
Yes, thanks, Emma. Well, he's already played 300 NRL games, and he's probably not interested, but he's fit enough you could throw him a set of boots, Jason Croker.
Okay, just wait.
He looks in great nick.
I love that, though. I'm no longer Jason Croker. I'm Millie Boyle's uncle. That's fantastic.
Half a step back, please. Look for the touchdown.
I haven't seen the stats on the game we just saw, but I know last week she ran for 230 metres in Big Boyle. It's a big effort in a 70-minute game.
27 tackles, a try, 262 metres. She was enormous.
Hold, wait. Go one. Hold your left side. Thank you.
Strong run. Gee, Tasman Gray and Destiny Brill. I don't know how you split those two as the best for the Titans so far.
Roosters left, hold. Go 2. Stop, Simi.
Steph Hancock back into the game, but she's really rocked by that. Now the held call came as the offload was popped out the back. She looks fit, Steph Hancock.
She does.
Here's
Done
Brill.
a ton of work,
Yeah.
Tomo.
Racing, let her up. Roosters hold.
This is a good defensive set here, though.
Go forward.
Through the hands, Polite turns it back underneath now. And Shania Power nearly ducked into a hole. She was pulled down by Togatuki in the end. They hurry a kick. Oh, that's good. That's good intensity.
In over last tackle. Wait. Roosters, wait. Okay, now.
Griffin caught with it on tackle 5.
Much better intent from the Roosters there to finish that off. I think we've sort of seen them let the Titans come up with a few last tackle options which have put them on the back foot. But here now, as we see Jess just sort of juggle the ball in the middle there, they get themselves in a good opportunity or in a good position nice and early.
It's Tamara chinking and trying to find an opening.
Steph, move. Give space. Hold.
Hancock the tackler.
Good now.
Burton
Georgia,
away to Predabon. Reintroduced here after quite a lengthy break, so she'll be ready to rumble. McGregor and out to Kelly. Good tackle, Jasmine Peters. Play 5. McGregor couldn't get it towards the in goal. Look out. Oh, good tackle. Surgis one-on-one with Polite.
Lock in. Hold.
now Lauren Dam.
Clear now, Leanne.
Should
Hold.
have been saying more than Dam after she dropped that last pass. Here's Brown.
Leanne, move. Here we are, Shorten. Hold. Hold. Go through.
They're really pushing up off the line here, the Roosters. Hancock.
Off the ball, Shorten. Roosters here. Hold.
That's 4 down.
Go forward.
Here goes Elliston. Oh, tackled strongly. Credibon with a good shot. And pressure here on Kimi Nati. It's only a shallow kick. Oh, no.
No. Don't do it. Let it go.
Oh, dear.
Well, that is a shame there for Tafunga because Taylor Predibon came up with a really strong tackle on tackle 4. And I thought, here we go. The Roosters are really up for this now. They're really pushed through. And the kick got away, and where Tafunga was going to catch it was only 40 metres out from their own line. So with her run back, they'd be around that halfway mark. And unfortunately, she just took her eye off it at the last minute.
Let's quickly get to Emma with a local favourite.
Keely, congratulations on getting to captain the side. How special is that to you?
Thank you. Yeah, it's super special, especially being at Wynn Stadium. I grew up and was born in Wollongong, so to do it at my local town is unreal.
Now, we know you've got a few big names missing, but how exciting is it that you get a couple of girls debuting today as well?
Yeah, super excited for those girls. They've worked so hard over the last couple of years to be where they are now, and I think our team has such great depth, so I'm really keen for them to get their opportunity and show what they can do.
Keely, thanks for your time. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Keely Davis, the Jillaroo star and captain of the team in Kessie App's absence this afternoon. Here's Hancock. Well, they've punished all the Roosters' errors so far in this match, and the Titans are poised to do it again. Kimi Nati around the back. That's nice. Polite, she gets it away. Surely they score. Rathran Smith, oh, wonderful defence. They came in numbers there, the Roosters. And Gray goes again. Dan catches. Oh, I think she's dropped it.
Just wait, just wait. I've got Jess
I
Surges
think
offside.
she spilt another one.
Don't say that, Tom.
Okay, we're coming back to a penalty if it's a no try.
Oh,
We've got
that's
a no
something.
try knock on Titans here. Can you just confirm she loses it over the goal line?
Well, you know what? If she does lose it, that's her third bad piece of things. So, comes in threes, right? No more.
Oh,
No more, Lauren. No more.
oh,
Oh, she does.
it again.
However, the life jacket is that they've got a penalty off the back of it.
Laura Dam drops the ball over the try line and fails to ground it. The on-field decision of a penalty for offside previous will stand. We have a decision.
Girls, it's a penalty against Jess. She failed to make the line. This way. It's a penalty.
I said it, Tomo. Threes. It's in threes. That's it. That's her third. No more.
Let's just hope it's not multiples of threes.
No more.
Well, defensively from Jess Surges, she just saved a try there. So that was good line speed, good intent to get up and put that pressure on. But the Titans will have another crack. They've got a lot of moving parts in attack. They look very dangerous.
All right, there's Britt Brayley-Narty's back out there. And now Hancock. Lauren Dam's an Army medic. I wonder if she's got an elastoplast with her she can stick on her hands for the rest of the game.
Not on her hold.
Oh, you got a feel for it. Let's see if they can score anyway. Short ball away to Polite, who gets collared. That's a good tackle, isn't it? Southwell's back on the ground and Predibon. There's the two Roosters enforcers in defence. Juggled by Elliston, but she runs hard at the post and she stopped to meet her out.
Away, Olivia, hold. Go through.
Brayley-Narty, away to Kimi Nati. And then Rathran Smith bumped away from McGregor. Ball back to Gray. She doesn't need an invitation to run. Oh, she's dragged down. Good tackle, Surges. How many's that? 4 plays gone. Kimi Nati tries to roll it to the in goal. Wasn't deep enough. Oh, it's a Roosters knock on. Wow.
But the pressure just keeps mounting, doesn't
Doesn't
it,
it?
Tomo? The Titans are
Lucky with the
relentless.
captain's challenge. The on-field decision is knock on Roosters. Roosters are disputing the decision of a knock on.
This is as much about getting some air back
I
in the
agree.
lungs
Absolutely.
than anything else.
Absolutely. They really do need to sort of press the reset button because they've been under a ton of pressure by the Titans. It was a lovely kick, well, the lovely idea of a kick there for Nati. She just didn't quite execute it the way she would have wanted.
Just looking to determine if the Roosters player knocks on.
I reckon there's a bobble.
Well, it hits that left foot, and then does she?
It hits the left hand of the Roosters player, and she propels it towards her opposition's goal line. The challenge is unsuccessful.
Yep.
Well, Fergo, we spoke during the week about the halves. What do you think that we need to see from these Roosters halves now to try and get them back into this game?
It's your scrum.
Well, they need territory. We've seen how dangerous all of the NRLW teams are when they're attacking the line, but we haven't seen them combine too much. Their last set attacking their line, they had 3 one-out runs. Then they just simply put it through the hands a couple of times and then put in a kick that was uncontested. So they need to build some pressure, but they need to work together. They've also got Zahara Tamara in there playing lock as a third ball option, a third ball playing option, but they just don't seem to be combining and coming up with any creative, dangerous plays to put the Titans under pressure.
Here's Gray back on an angle. Well, before they do any of that, they've got to tackle, and they've got to tackle for their lives. Oh, Brayley Nati juggled there, Elliston. Britt goes herself under the post. The skipper scores. They had to score there. They couldn't hold them out any longer.
That's it. They're building the pressure. They've just mounted it on the Roosters non-stop, come up with a couple of errors. Britt Brayley Nati's just come on off the bench not too long ago, as we see on the Harvey Norman replay. So she's got lungs that are full. She was roaring to go and just goes straight over the top. She's been doing some brilliant work in and around the ruck. She's always got runners constantly moving either side to make those defenders question, but just backs herself at the key moments.
Yeah, I mentioned earlier, Roo, too, she's the best number 9 in the world when she took a little time out of the game.
Yep.
She was a Jillaroo star. You played with her, and now Lauren Brown sort of stepped into that role, but that's a good battle. Does she win the jumper back?
Oh, it is a great battle. I can't wait to watch the Titans-Broncos game because we'll get to see that live, head-to-head. But that, to me, is the perfect scheming hooker try.
Yeah.
Sniffing around, she threw her forwards in there, said, here, take it up, and then just sat back and waited. Sat back and noticed when the Roosters' middle defence were a little bit slow getting back into the line, and then she pounced. It was a great try. And Kimi Nati, oh yeah, convert.
So that's the ground behind us here, the training field where the Dragons and the Eels are going through their paces. They'll be next up, the final game in our triple header here. On 9, look at the wind get that. Look at the wind blow that ball back in the Roosters' face. It was a good catch in the end. Well, 22-6 up, a howling breeze at your back. You've got to get it done from here, the Gold Coast.
We've been speaking about the Gold Coast and how well they've been doing in attack, but in defence, they've only missed 7 tackles, the Titans, whereas the Roosters have missed 33, so huge efforts in defence. You spoke about Jamie Feeney, their coach. He's definitely defence mindset, so he'll be absolutely pumped with that result.
All right, they've turned over here after scoring points. Still 20 minutes to go. The Roosters have just got to get some consistent football and probably some field position as well. They've been pretty much down their own end of the park for most of the game now. Here's Predabon.
Well, also, Tom, when you look at the possession, the Roosters have only had 36% possession in this whole game. So you can understand why they're under the pump a little bit.
11 errors, main contributing factor behind that number. Here's a pass out wide. Meeks cuts back infield, but they were waiting for her.
Be on the ball. Yeah. Just wait, tapping.
Well, looking at that live, it just looked like a drop ball, but
I
they've
thought
got
so.
the penalty there, so that's a good get out of jail. Free card for the Roosters.
Titans get their line set too. Here's Togatuki.
Okay, just move. Give space, hold.
Can they just pull one back here? One can bring two. Here's a great chance. Joseph.
Move, give space. Hold.
Centimetres short. Burton. Togatuki came out of the entertainment centre at the back of the ground and scores under the post. Now, is this the start of a comeback?
Well, this was a great piece of work. You know, I made a tongue-in-cheek joke in the first game about, is there anything better than seeing a front rower score a try? As we see here on the Harvey Norman replay, I'm doubling down. I love watching a front rower get over and score a try, and it was obviously a play that they'd set up for, because as the hooker jumps out, she held the ball up, she put someone else through, and then just pushed out, drifted slightly to her left, and hit that hard-running Salatonga Tuki one-on-one with Peliti. Peliti's an excellent defender, but when you've got someone running at you like that, it is so hard to handle.
All right, 22-10, soon to be 22-12. Stacks of time. The clock's not an issue. From right in front here, Hannah Southwell. It's a 10-point game. They just rolled them, mate. They just have to roll them. Huh? I don't even know what that means. So, go through it. Say, I don't even know what that is.
7, 6, have a react out of this, guys. 2.
Yes, it's a great show with Emma, Rue and Alana. They got plenty to talk about. We've had 3 games last week, another 3 today. And we might have a good finish on our hands here.
Plenty of talking points already, Tomo.
Oh, yeah.
The first 2 games. Killing it.
Oh, McGregor, good hands. And back comes Keely Joseph.
Stand now, Brittany. Give space,
The
hold.
rain just starting to spot here at Wynn Stadium, and it is getting a bit darker. We've had enough rain. Good offload, Predabon. Nice work, Parker now.
Okay, clear now, Brittany. All the way, hold. Held it.
10 short of the halfway. And Kelleher with a good pass, and Kelly's through the ball over the touchline though. Some desperation, sorry, Alana, for Kelly to try and keep the ball in, but that's gone over off the Roosters.
Yeah, good defence from the Titans then to shut that down. They've seen Kelly as being a huge threat the entire game. But just the Roosters, that was almost the first time they played up over that advantage line. We saw a little second phase play with an offload. I think, Drew, when you spoke about what they need to do in attack, some of that second phase footy, some offloads, the halves combining, but not playing it too early. They're a little bit too easy to predict. When Togatuki had the footy in her hand, she was up over the advantage line and she was charging 100 miles an hour. I'd love to see the halves have that mindset of breaking through a defender first and then having a look for opportunities.
All right, some early ball for Polite here.
Okay, move, Jess. Hold. Lydia, hold. Hold. Far too long. Way too slow.
Gee. It's a fine line, that one. Man. That was
very quick, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, hang on, hasn't found touch.
They haven't found the line. Oh, that's a terrible mistake. Gee, when you're ahead by 10 points, you've got to do the simple things right, and that was a bad error.
But great work by Bridie Parker at the back there, just keeping an eye on it, making sure where it was going, and then putting herself in a position to actually get that back into good mid-ball for them.
Held it!
Oh, that just compounded
You're
it.
on the ball. Just strip.
And Tasman tried to do the... oh, no, it wasn't me.
Oh, good tackle.
Okay, Shannon, move.
Marto and Hancock on Predabon. There's some muscle in that.
Shannon off the arm.
Togatuki
Tasman all the way. Hold.
stopped on the halfway line.
Go two.
And the impressive Keely Joseph.
I'm glad you said that, Tomo, because when she came on, there was a noticeable difference in both weeks of football.
Yeah.
Okay, move, Steph. No. Hold.
McGregor. Higgins, the 9, back out on the park at Southwell.
All the way, hold.
With yet another determined run. He gets within 23 of the Titans line now. McGregor along the ground. The kick chase is pretty good here, and you have to be when you've got a star like Ivania Polite on the kick return. Here's the goose. Karina Brown, tackled by Surgis. Emma, you got a guess with you?
Semima, a dramatic finish last week. What's the focus for this week?
The focus this week is just, it's a new team. In NRLW Knights, we sort of didn't have a fair idea because they were an inaugural team as well. And, the Dragons is coming off a back of a red-hot win against the Titans. And I know they're going to be steered around the field by your likes of Keely Davis, Quincy Dodd, and we saw what Rachel Pearson is capable of with her kicking game. And, for us today, we'll focus on ourselves and what we need to do to make sure we shut down the threats across the field.
Semima Taufa, she's a star. She'll be in action next for Parramatta against the Dragons.
Another player who had a standout performance last week.
Oh,
she was huge.
I've never seen her play a bad game.
No.
So Brill.
Play the ball in the mark. Back up, it'll be tackle 4.
See, I reckon that's a penalty, isn't it? It's off legs, and there was a second grab there. They got away with that.
I am with you on that one, Tom. I thought they were very lucky to get away with no penalty, and looks like Sala Tongatuki is in a little bit of pain here, which is a shame because she's the try scorer, most recent try scorer for the Roosters, and it was almost immediate when she hit the deck.
I like the fact that Brill's come back on the field. Having Brill, Brittany Brayley-Nardi on there, and Georgia Hale, the triple threat. There's going to be a lot of ball movement in the middle of the park. I thought that's when the Titans look their most dangerous.
Big collision there. China's out there, so...
It was her leg she's grabbing, though, Tomo, which...
Looks like it's a running repair job here. They're not too concerned.
Just getting a bit of feeling back in the leg. Now, Dragons Eels. Who are you going for, Tomo?
Oh,
come on. Put you on the spot. You always ask us questions like this.
A draw.
Oh,
cut it out.
Come on.
Dragons.
How are those splintered? Oh, well done.
Oh, actually, no. No, I'll go Para on the back of those injuries. See, this is how I do my tipping every week, and everyone wonders why I come last.
Cross your answers
Draw,
out 5 times.
then I pick one, then realise half the team's out and change. Not a great kick by Grace Griffin. Just got away from some of the basics here, the Gold Coast.
Okay, Georgia, move. Hold, Steph, hold.
Good like my tipping. Here goes Parker. Oh, that's good.
Well, this is what's been a constant for the Titans defensively. If they can work back into their game through their defence, their attack will flow off the back of it.
Good run, Kelly.
Destiny, move.
Brill in there with Brayley. Oh, good contact. Yasmin Meeks. Now Southwell.
Last tackle.
And they're 10 metres over the halfway line here. Higgins for McGregor. Oh, look out. Polite there. Gee, Well, Lauren Dam is a bit apprehensive to try and catch it. She hasn't had the second half to remember.
Okay, Katie, move! Roosters all the way, Roosters! Roosters! Go one.
Oh, Rashford Smith hit hard. Good tackle.
Taylor, Olivia, all the way.
Southwell.
Hold. Go two.
Now Karina Brown.
Olivia, Hannah, hold. All the way, hold.
More simplistic set, this one so far by the Titans. All dummy half stuff up the centre. Trying to protect the lead. 11 minutes to go. The clock still not really too big an issue for the Roosters. They've got a lot of time here. And Hancock, that's a good run.
Shackle, Olivia, all the way. Here and hold.
There's some tired troops out there now, however. Hancock on play 5. Georgia Hale to Gray, who kicks ahead. Dams after it into the corner and allowed to roll over the touchline. Good skills there from the big back rower.
I like that set of 6 from the Titans. I know it was no frills. I know that they just pushed it up through the middle, but then on tackles 4 and 5, they started to create a little bit more space. They started to put the Roosters in 2 minds, and that, Tasman Gray, a second rower on the fly, coming up with a beautifully weighted kick like that, that is a really, really good finish to a set of 6, especially if you haven't really been in that kind of form the last few minutes.
It's handy having that little left side kicking option as well, isn't it?
Well, when you're a charging back rower, you don't really expect to have that extra finesse on the back either, but an all-round player, as you can see there, Tasman Gray. Oh, that's a bad mistake. And that's the first error she's made for 2 games, Keely Joseph. It might just be at a critical time as we tick inside the final 10 minutes. And the Titans with a 10-point lead. Shannon Marto, centre of the ground, 20 metres out. Here's Brill. Tongatuki there with Southwell. And Marto again charges towards the post. Oh, that's a nice offload. And Brayley away. And Hale, Rastron Smith juggles, keeps it alive now. Here's Polite. Tackle well by South High. A high tackle by Surgis. That's really bad luck. There's 2 of the game's guns coming together. And Jess just clipped her a little bit high.
Well, Jess had to throw everything in the kitchen sink at her because we've seen how dangerous Politi is, not just with that ball in hand running, but that passing game.
Hancock with a rumble into the defence. A few metres out from the line here. Here's Hale playing the link. Oh, gee, that was a pressure pass. And Isabel Kelly came racing out. Griffin did well just to hang on to the ball there. Power. Shania Power with a right foot step. Southwell over there. The Titans, they can just about ice it here, do you reckon?
Okay, time on, play the ball.
Brayley. On tackle 3 now. Polite is tackled here by Meeks and Kelly. If they can't find points, they want to find the end goal with a kick here, don't they? Oh, bounces around and ends up with the Roosters, who threw a boot on it.
Knock on Titans, no advantage.
Oh, it's a Titans knock on.
Coming out
so it bounced off a Rooster who hadn't played at the ball.
And a Southwell, middle.
And a Titans knock on. Yeah. Well, that's courageous defence.
I tell you what else is courageous. Yasmin Meeks, even though, you know, there was all of that happening, was the knock-on and the ricochet and all that sort of stuff, she still managed to get the ball in goal. Here we go. We're going to watch this ricochet. Comes off the Titans player there. Yeah. Yasmin doesn't know. She's got the ball and drives her way back into the field of play. So that's really good signs to me.
I think one area of this Titans side that they might want to have a look at moving forward, particularly when they will be coming up against the Broncos at some point, are those 5th tackle options. Their defence has been sensational. In attack, they've got a lot of moving parts. They're asking a lot of questions, doing really good in the ruck, but just some of those 5th tackle options not always putting the Roosters under a lot of pressure.
Seven minutes to go. Hilda Moana in jumper 23 for the Roosters. Here's Southwell. They've stacked this right-hand edge, looking for an opening, but one isn't forthcoming. Olivia Koenig tackled. Back towards the middle of the park, but this is surging defence by the Titans. The possession's still 62% in favour of the Gold Coast. No wonder they got plenty of energy when it comes to tackling. McGregor bangs it downfield. Lauren Dam takes it safely, but there's plenty of Roosters jumpers down there to pressure her. The Titans looking for their first ever NRLW win. Karina Brown. Ooh. She's 1,000 miles an hour. There's nothing of her. She just throws herself at opponents.
And she's safe as
ball
now.
out the back here. It's a knock on.
Good defence.
Yep, it's a knock on.
To have that defensive intent at this point in the game, they need it. They needed to cough the ball up, and they need to start building some pressure. They've got the footy now at halfway, the Roosters.
We're seeing a little bit of concern here for Shannon Martor. So hopefully she's going to get some attention by the trainer, and hopefully she's all right.
All right, we'll take a short break here at 22:12.
Okay, Moya. Oh, yeah, okay.
You can see here, she's not well here, Shannon Marto. Just saw a slow motion replay. Her head makes heavy contact with the ground, so that's the issue here.
Well, as soon as she hits the deck, you can see the pain on her face. And the physio there, just having a bit of a chat with her, she was sort of testing that leg, that left leg, and they're picking her up now in a fire carry. So unfortunately for Shannon Martor, she won't be able to take part in the rest of this game.
Yeah.
And we hope that she's all right.
One of the former Broncos contingent lining up for the Titans now. So the Dragons and the Eels next. They've got a few out here, the Dragons, but they're at home at Wynn Stadium, and they'll have plenty of supporters and family and friends here. They'll want to do them proud up against Parramatta, who prevailed in a thriller last week. And for the record, I am tipping Parramatta.
Draw, scratch out.
Yeah.
No Kezi up in the middle of the field, Ruth.
Big
she
loss.
was huge for them last week, wasn't she?
She really was, and that is a huge loss. She's their captain. She leads from the front. Also, having that big body through the middle creates a lot of space and opportunity because she draws in 2 and 3 defenders. So that is a big loss. Also missing Jamie Chapman with concussion and... no.
Really?
No,
That's bad. That's a really bad error.
She's already picked it back up. It's gone dead. The ball's dead. It's a scrum. Yeah. Where do you
We're
want
going to see a scrum here.
Okay.
And Tarley Holmes is the other one that's also missing for the Dragons this afternoon.
They've had a long break there, and the Titans just haven't switched back on.
This side for me now. This side. Let's back in. Okay, all the way in, walk off, all in.
5 minutes to go.
Break.
Here's McGregor with a show and go. Couldn't quite split them.
Here, Torrance, Jessica.
Georgia Hale with a really important tackle that time. Here's Tongatuki.
Okay, step off the ball.
Well, if they can jag one here, look out.
Hold.
Southwell, another strong performance from her.
All the way, Tasman, Georgia Hold.
16 short in the centre of Wynn Stadium. Away to McGregor. And Surgis linking up here with Tufunga, who backs out of the tackle there of Lauren Dam, but plenty of Titans jumpers around her.
Good defence from the Titans.
Play 4 though, still a couple left for the Roosters. They've got to score here to have any chance. Short and Burton.
Okay, held there, last tackle. Marcus Lockley.
Play number 5, can they manufacture something? Here's Koenig, yes they can! That was a big gap on their goal line, and Olivia Koenig has gone straight through.
Well, she was a standout last week, but just that nice, simple overs run, taking the line on, that's always going to be the key for the Roosters, is playing up and over that advantage line, as we see here on the Harvey Norman replay, getting to the outside of her defender and just going straight over. We need to see them straighten up a little bit more. To start that set, we saw Racine McGregor, their half, take the line on and set that standard. But to back herself and go over there, just a nice little overs line, getting on the outside shoulder of her defender. Brilliant work.
Now Alana, Hannah Southwell nailed one from the sideline earlier. This is a big kick.
Plenty in this one.
22-16. If she can kick this and they score another one, she'll have a kick to win the game. She's just outside the scrum line, so about not quite 10 metres in from touch. This is not easy in the conditions. It's drizzling here, it's windy. To bring it inside a converted try here, Hannah Southwell. She's having a long look. Oh, she's left it out right. So it stays at 22-16. You can hear the wind through the effects mics there too, out the back. The Dragons probably more used to it than Parramatta playing down here in windy Wollongong. It's really blowing hard.
Emma Tonegado was just on screen then. The Sevens convert that's come back to rugby league. It'd be good to see her in action again because she made some pretty good leeways out on the field last week.
All right, we're going to see if the Titans can hold their nerve here. Hancock restarts. It's a roly-poly start. And back come the Roosters, who have just under 3 minutes to see if they can travel the length. We could have golden point, Alana.
We could, and they're running with plenty in 10 at the moment, the Roosters. Just got to get up the right end of the field again.
Played by Parker. Sent from Higgins away to the try scorer, Koenig. Third tackle gone. And here's Burton. Oh, dumped in a really strong shot. Brill and Elliston, the tacklers, and she's been hurt here. Short and Burton.
Yeah, she might have just had the wind taken out of her with this one.
Oh, she got slammed into the ground. Legally, there's nothing wrong with that. That's just a tough rugby league tackle.
It's as tough as it gets. But that defensive pressure is going to be key from the Titans to hold them out. So there's only 6 points in it.
Oh.
A couple of minutes to go.
All right, I hope. Just wondering if it's an issue with the neck here, but I think Shorten Burton's all right. That's a relief. The doctor out there too. It's Nathan Gibbs. All right, Shorten Burton will soldier on. She's going to play the ball, actually. She's lost the ball here in an excellent tackle. That was Power. I reckon Shania Power who drove in around the ball. And it makes it really hard for the Roosters from here. Hancock, oh, she pops a pass out the back. And Power, who executed that tackle to provide the turnover, is tackled with it now, 9 metres the Roosters side of halfway. Here's Destiny Brill. Gee, I'm glad you pointed her out at the start of the game, Alana. What a performance.
She's just everywhere, and she loves being in the thick of the action, so she'll just constantly turn up, repeat efforts. We've seen a couple of great steals from her too, Tomo.
Oh, yeah. Power milking every last second possible. Is Hale to Polite. Lauren Dam's taken it. Oh, well, but she might be pushed over the touchline here. She's struggling to stay in the field of play, and she's done that.
She's done well to stay in there.
That cutout ball is magic. Hale now. And Tamsin Gray. Oh, the trainer's calling for the game to be stopped again. The referee missed it. Meanwhile, Elliston bullocks towards the line. Tries to get the ball free. Still one play left. Here's Brittany Brayley-Nati, and Hancock comes running onto one at pace. It's okay if they want. Oh, she gets it away. And now Britt Brayley-Nati for the line. I think she scored. She has.
on the line.
She gets a second try, and the captain will confirm the Titans' first NRLW victory.
Well, if you're ever questioning Brittany Brayley-Nati being out of the game for a little bit and coming back in that hooking position, Domo, I think she just solidified how brilliant she is with that decision-making in and around the ruck. We see here on the Harvey Norman replay, Polite throwing that cutout pass. Dam did well to stay in, but this second phase footy, brilliant work. Just watch this nice late offload from Hancock there, keeping the ball alive. And then Brayley-Nati, that vision, the game awareness to spot that the Roosters defenders were standing there waiting. You can't give her those opportunities that close to the line.
Well, I've got to say, Alana, I know the Broncos are absolutely the benchmark. If you're looking for a team that might have the game to trouble them, I reckon this Titans team have got points in them. And this is just their second game as a combination. If they can continue to improve, to me, they look like they're the testing material.
Couldn't agree more. And I think even just in and around the spine, when we have a look at, Georgia Hale, Destiny Brill, Brayley-Nati, and just the ball movement and the work that they do in there to all connect away. They're just playing together. For only the second game playing together, the Titans, they look dangerous.
Well, they came in as outsiders, but they have notched their first win in NRLW, and the Roosters 9-2 after their first couple of rounds of the season. Full time here in game 2 of 3 in our triple header on Nine's Wide World of Sports. Titans 26, Roosters 16.